Hello everybody, welcome to another Lords of the Fallen stream. Today without camera, because I'm super tired. Got up early to drop off my girlfriend and her girlfriend at the airport, and yeah, so really kind of tired. I played the game a bit. Oh yeah, right, we're not where we left off, maybe you're wondering. I played the game a little bit on my new OLED television. I got the A95L from Sony. My first OLED and my first 4K screen. Very nice, very impressive picture quality. What I'm playing here now on is my also very good IPS gaming panel, 1044p and 2440 Hertz. Which definitely has better refresh rate because the television only has 120 Hertz. But I must say, even though this is really good, I mean, obviously OLED has better blacks and whatnot, and the television in general is amazing, blah blah blah. I still think this monitor looks amazing, right? It is really pretty. I thought I would be like, oh my god, it's so shit after trying out an OLED TV. But I must say, I still really like my screen. My display. And the funny thing is, I still want to get an OLED, and the reason for that is because I still think the blacks are like crazy good, and what I really like is also the pixel response time is fucking amazing. It's insane how crisp the images is, how little overshoot there is, and yeah, and in Q1 there's going to be a few new OLED 2040 Hertz displays with another sub RGB based pixel layout, which is better for desktop use and readability and all that stuff. And that's what's missing for me. I can't really get a desktop monitor that doesn't display text properly. That just doesn't work for me. So yeah, I'm waiting for that in Q1, and so I'm probably going to switch to 4K OLED then also for my main PC monitor, and this one's going to go to my girlfriend. And the one my girlfriend has is 1044p 144 Hertz. It's gonna go to her girlfriend, and the thing basically is, why the change? First of all, I really like all this picture quality a lot, but secondarily, I kind of got just, you know, it just makes sense to go 4K as a gamer today, because the reason before, I always said 1044p, sweet spot between resolution and performance, really good stuff, and that's still true, but only if there is no DLSS. If you have DLSS, I think 4K is the way better choice, because it will scale amazingly, right? You can have games which run with a lot of FPS, like 2D games, you can run them at 4K, and then you can use DLSS in performance mode, like it's like a 1080p display. DLSS quality is like a 1044p resolution, and so you can basically scale your 4K monitor to whatever resolution you need, which is why I think that these days having a 4K display as a gamer is the best of all worlds you can have, and also consoles output at 4K. So I still think that this display is great, but I think I'm gonna still upgrade to an OLED in Q1 of next year when they become available. Yeah, I'm expecting a price of, I don't know, 1,500 euros probably for them. I mean, this one I think was roughly 1,000 euros for an IPS panel, very expensive, but still amazing picture quality, really great color accuracy and all that stuff. Of course, the television was way more expensive. It's crazy, like I think 3,300 euros or something. Mind-blowing, but you know, I didn't buy one in 15 years, so I thought, you know, if I buy a new one, I buy a good one, so it might last maybe a few years at least. And yeah, and the main reason why I got the new TV was because we were playing a lot of video games on our old 10. It was basically the best 1080p TN panel you could buy. No, it was even IPS panel you could buy back in the day. But yeah, back in the day everything was cheaper, and it was still pretty small. It was like 40-inch or something. And yeah, I think just gaming here a lot locally on the couch has just made it more interesting to get a bigger TV. Then I thought, like, yeah, why not, you know, buy it if you can afford it. And yeah, so I significantly overspent. I would not advise anybody with any budget concerns to get such a television. You can get great TVs for even OLEDs for a lot less than that, easily half and even less. So don't worry about that. If you want to get a good television, you can get one way cheaper. Yeah, but basically I'm now in OLED camp. That doesn't mean I don't like this display. Like I said, I'm gonna play all of my streaming games on this display, not on the television, just because the setup would be really annoying to get the microphone over there, and also would mean probably no webcam because it's really bad to position the webcam for couch use. So yeah, because I really thought about it, right? Because it really looks amazing and all that. But then I was like, I don't know. I mean, I also like the audio is really cool and all that stuff. But yeah, I think for my PC gaming sessions, which are not co-op or just chill solo, whatever I do, I'm probably still gonna stay on this monitor. Because I really think it's a great monitor. I really have to emphasize that it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. If you have a great IPS panel, sure, it's not the same as an OLED. In a lot of scenes, it's going to look worse, but it still looks great to your eye, right? And the end of the day was the most important thing about a screen is that you have fun looking at it, right? Fluidity, how the picture looks, all that is only as important as you perceive it. So if you like what you see and you're happy with it, you gotta go to the screen, right? So this screen, for example, has a lot more fluidity at 240 FPS because it's 240 hertz. But still, I think 120 hertz OLED display still looks very fluid and very good. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm missing out, and then vice versa, right? And on this screen, it's more fluid, but of course, it doesn't have the pixel response time. It doesn't have the blacks. Sure, there's going to be some IPS glow and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not optimal, of course, and especially for movies, whatever, I would never choose this screen. But for games, I think it's still really, really good. Wait a second. I'm gonna play no. Sorry for the quick heads up because I wasn't there the last day, so I just wanted to. Yeah, just wanted to quickly catch up. Okay. Yeah, what I did, I played basically the entire game again to this point with this character, just to run around and get a feel for the OLED and HDR and all that stuff. Because obviously we're playing in SDR. You can upload HDR content to YouTube, but it's very limited, and I would rather have a good HDR picture. And I also must say, some games, I just like SDR as much as HDR. I think HDR can be a net, upgrade, but it can also be not necessarily a downgrade, but it could also be, how you say it, it can also be, a bit less maybe pleasing to the eyes, because yes, you can have great contrast, all that stuff, but maybe sometimes, just like a painting or whatever doesn't necessarily have amazing color accuracy and insane contrast. I think SDR can have a very specific look, which you can, of course, emulate using HDR, but a lot of devs opt for a very, very clean SDR look and sometimes a bit too contrast-heavy HDR look, which might look kind of less pleasing to the eyes, in my opinion, sometimes. So in this game, it's like 50-50. Some things I like more, but I really, really like how the HDR mode looks in general, so yeah. Yeah, so let's start. The little problem we have is that I don't remember exactly where we left off, but the good news is we can easily check that, right? We can easily... I don't know why the game is stuttering so much. Like, it's stuttering like crazy. I mean, I did upgrade my GPU drivers, but sure the game did not have that issue. Not have that issue just a while ago. So why are you stuttering so much? Maybe it's the area, maybe I just misremembered and it did stutter a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but that's really, you know, that's really something I'm happy about, that I still really like the screen and I'm not like, oh my god, I can never play this again. Okay, that's good, because from here on out we can go wherever we want. But I really don't know why it's stuttering so much. It's kind of really bad. Just a moment. Okay, let's look where we left off, because it's going to be really hard to find the area, because I even used the seed, I think. I think we just went underground somewhere, if I can remember. But the good thing is, since we have the VODs, we can easily check that. Okay, talk to 100 NPCs, did the upgrades. And then... oh yeah, right, we went into the mine. The problem is... that I can't really remember where we went. No, really, I like the screen, and that's really something I'm really happy about, that it still kind of works. Still one last thing I've got to down. Yeah, one thing, by the way, which is really cool, is the fact that when you yeah, the thing that's really cool is that when you have a bigger screen and it's further away, it might occupy the same FUV as a screen when you're really close, because you can imagine you can put your phone right in front of your eyes and it's going to cover up your entire eyes. And the television might have the same effect, but, you know, a lot further away. There is still a difference, and the main difference is basically not the pixel density, because you could potentially change that arbitrarily. But there's one thing you can't change, and that thing is basically how much of your field of view does the object occupy when you move. how much does it change, right? Like the differential. And that's really important, because if you imagine you have a huge television which occupies roughly your entire field of view, you can move your head forward and backwards slightly, it will not matter at all. It will almost have the same FUV for you, right? It's not going to change a lot. But if the object is super close and you move your head forward and backwards, it's going to make a dramatic change. So if you're a person that likes to move around a bit and changes a bit positions, or there are multiple people watching, the bigger the screen, the less the differential is going to be. The difference is going to be between the people watching or you while you move your head forward and backwards. Yeah, so it's going to remain at a more constant size. And that also leads to your eyes believing something is bigger, because your eyes, you know, when you move forward and backwards, they judge the distance obviously from the object. And a television that's bigger is going to be perceived as bigger, even though it has the same FUV. You know, it occupies the same FUV. Yeah, so that's something interesting you can maybe notice when you look at a large screen. So maybe you wondered, why does my phone not look like a big television when I hold it up close? Why does it still feel like it's small? That's because your brain learned how to judge sizes based on these things. Just basically normal. Just one. Blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find the area. Sorry for the really rough start here. But I'm kind of slow, but like I said, I'm super tired. I woke up so early and I'm not gonna be very focused today. So already ahead, I'm gonna apologize a little bit for being so slow today. Okay. Yeah, and what I did off stream was basically run around and kill mobs, right? Just to look at the areas and everything. So we got a few levels more. I think maybe 3 or 4 levels, maybe 5 at max, just to, you know, test out the television. I didn't want to make any progress off stream, obviously, but just I think the leveling part was an okay compromise in my opinion. Yeah, so if you want to know what we leveled, just compare the stats now to the last time we leveled. I don't really know what exactly I did. I think it was mostly HP. Yeah. Okay, so let's warp to a new vestige. I think unfortunately the seedling is not... Is it a new or an old one? Yeah, let's just warp there. I think, unfortunately, I placed one by mistake. Didn't think about it. And no, never mind. Never mind. It is actually... Oh yeah, never mind. I did actually do what I thought I did. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also what I didn't talk about, because I have the Sony A95L. It has the reality creation stuff Sony does, which is basically some sort of upscaler AI upscaling, and it is not as powerful as DLSS. So the thing with DLSS is, why is it so good? It does not only use picture information from the current frame, but it also has motion vectors and stuff like that. It can draw from the game engine, so it can do much more elaborate guesses about how the image is going to change. So for motion, like undeterministic, you know, content, it is way more powerful, because I'm going to explain why this is important and why what Sony has, the reality creation, is great for television, but when it comes to gaming content, it is more to see as a nice little sharpening filter maybe. So I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but first I wanted to make sure yeah, this is set up correctly. Yeah, so if you don't know what DLSS does, so it's this setting here again, maybe just a heads up. It's called Deep Learning Super Resolution, and it's basically an upscaling filter. but it uses AI, mostly computer vision, well, okay, if you use the motion vectors, it just uses neural networks to process the information and generate a higher resolution frame from a lower resolution ground truth, which you can set up by changing the setting here. For example, quality here is, I think, roughly a little bit lower than 1080p, basically. I don't know the exact number by just out of my head. Yeah, but what it does is basically take a very, very shitty image and make it prettier. And you can test that easily. You can just go here, set the resolution, for example, at 1080p, turn off DLSS, and look what it would look like without DLSS. And you're going to be amazed. It's going to be really amazing to compare these two. And why is it important? Because lower resolution is easier to compute, and you're going to have, more FPS at the end. That's the reason why we do it. So why is DLSS so cool? Because we are playing a video game, and video games have a video game, the engine or the software doesn't know what you are going to do with the player. I can move my camera left, I can move it right, I can move and walk. The engine doesn't really know what I'm going to do, so it cannot predict the future, right? It can't. But what it can do is basically learn certain things, how they are going to move. So, for example, if I attack, maybe my spear has a motion vector which is attached to a certain direction, and then even though it's dynamic, you can still kind of know where it's going to go, and then you can make a better guess as to how you would actually want it to look, right? So it's going to be a better quality. And if there is a static image, basically what you can do is you can look at multiple frames. You can look ahead, basically, and then say, okay, in the next 3 frames, the camera is going to move left. So I'm going to predict that while moving left, I'm probably going to want to change this and this pixel in a certain way. And that's basically what you can do for static media. And the advantage of reality creation is obviously that it basically works on anything without an implementation. It's just like it sees an image and upscales it, no matter what type of content it is. But the downside is it doesn't really have the information that DLSS does. So you should not use it instead of DLSS. DLSS is a way better algorithm. But what it does basically is it can add a little bit of extra detail on top of what you already have in the game. This is something DLSS also does, obviously. I mean, it does make textures more sharper, adds new detail and all that stuff. Basically, DLSS makes the image better than it was before. So native is usually inferior to high DLSS resolution or DLAA, because it just uses a higher resolution ground truth and tries to, add detail. And that detail, and that's something I really want to emphasize, because a lot of people probably don't know that, it's not real. It doesn't exist, right? The detail was learned by the network, but it is not what's really there. It's something that the network thinks it's there. So for example, if you use reality creation on the television to augment an image, you're going to have for example, very crisp texture resolution with a lot of detail, but the detail is not real, right? It is something that the network would predict for a similar type of object if it had a high resolution. And that's why it is fake, inherently fake. All the images we're seeing here are fake, right? It's just based on a ground truth, and yes, it's very close to the original because we only changed the details, but the details we change are not real. So everything here is basically an artificial frame. And that's really amazing. And then you also have frame generation, where you have a completely artificial frame within, of course, based also on the frames ahead and the past frame, the current frame, and the past frame and the current frame. And the reason why that's important is to know that if you add reality creation on top of something, you're gonna have a less real picture. And a lot of people I want to have the, it as intended. I want to have the picture quality like the guy who made the movie had in his mind and all that stuff. I want to have the perfect color accuracy and all that stuff. And that's where I really want to emphasize, it's not about that. It is not about how close are you to what XYZ wanted. What you really want is an image that fulfills the goal of making you enjoy the content at your maximum, right? So it might be that you want a very specific style to be hit accurately by your television, but in general what you want more is that the television makes a fun image to look at. So it's really, I think the more we move into neural, computing and, neural also engines and all that stuff, the more we move into that direction, the more basically we're going away from an accurate real image. And that's something we just have to get used to, right? And a lot of people think like, yeah, but isn't that super unsatisfying, blah, blah, blah. And here comes the big twist. Your entire eyes are subjective and your entire, your being is subjective. So it's not an objective thing. So for example, if Steven Spielberg looks through his camera and, looks at the colors and all that stuff, you might not perceive it the same way. You might not have the same resolution as he does. You might not have the exact same color accuracy. You're maybe pretty close in a lot of regards, but you're still going to differ, right? You're not gonna have the exact same perception as the person. Maybe you're not even the same height. Your eye spacing is not the same. Your depth perception is different. So many factors. So there is no way, unless we really make a persona transfer, like you analyze Steven Spielberg's entire eye structure and all that, and you extract this entire neural architecture, and then you model that onto your own personal, eyes. Yeah, sure, that would be possible, but it's way beyond what we can at the moment. And so you should just accept that everything you see is super subjective. And that's why it's way more important that you like what you see than that you try to replicate some arbitrary color spaces as accurately as possible, or avoid using AI upscalers because you think that sometimes the detail is not real, whatever. That's just bullshit, right? It's just basically it's better, right? It's better because you like it better. And it's not, just because it's not what the author intentionally wanted to be there. Who gives a shit, right? If I look at this rock, what do I care if the rock looks good to me, if it looks exactly as the person imagined it? And that's why I also don't mind combining DLSS with reality creation, because reality creation is basically a little bit of an additional touch on top of your your screen. And what it does is basically adapt your input, your DLSS image, to the screen output. So it's basically a bit more what the screen and calibrated screen would expect to output. But I think that's really, really important to, with all these new settings, all that stuff, just to remember it's about having a good image that you like. You don't have to give a shit what anybody else likes, right? Unless you're a TV merchant that has to sell televisions that look great, you don't really have to care about what the television or display looks like. It's just about, enjoying it yourself. Even if it looks horrendous to other people, right? Who gives a shit? Yeah, so basically what you can imagine a reality creation to be like for games is basically an advanced sharpness setting almost for your television, right? Because your television is calibrated to use it and just leave it on, right? There's no input lag. Of course, there are settings which are different, like especially all the motion flow stuff. I mean, not DLSS frame generation, I mean the TV motion flow stuff. Of course, adds input lag. It's the way the technology works, right? It always has to use future frames to generate in between frames, and it always adds lag. So it always, and it's also very artifact rich because it doesn't have the motion vector. So I would always advise, if you have television, turn off all the motion fluidity shit, but leave on, the entire upscaling filters and that kind of that stuff on a level that you find acceptable sharpness wise, because I just think they're a great addition to the toolbox. And the truth is, in my everyday, my television, every image I see is AI upscaled. So every single image is basically not a real image anymore. And also when I play games, most of my images are, neural network generated. So for us gamers, a lot of people, there's a lot of hype around AI and all that stuff. And if you know my opinions about AI and all, that stuff, of course, that I think AI is going to be super impactful and way, way, way more so than just a little bit of gaming. But I still think we live in a reality where AI, not AGI, but AI is omnipresent in our everyday, gaming sessions. So I think it's very, very important to just, kind of also realize how different the world is suddenly, right? How many new options we have, how cool technology has progressed in the last 10 years. It's just like, is so insanely impressive if you think about it. Because and for some people, right, they just turn on DLSS. I get a few more frames, but what really happens is basically you get an artificial image, right? An image which was impossible to generate 10 years ago, and you get more detail, you get, everything's just better and more performance, which is something that never happened basically in gaming, right? The only way we got this so far was by having more hardware resources and not smarter algorithms. So of course, no, that's not true. We have smarter algorithms, but not, in a general way where you could say, yeah, this is for every single game you want to have that. So the rendering pipeline has changed significantly. Okay, so just a little moment. And we're going to start the game. So we didn't play it all yet. I'm sorry. It's just today is a very tired stream. Sometimes when I'm tired, I kind of drift off to other topics, which I try to avoid for most of the time. Unless we really have a game where, like Genshin Impact, whatever, where you can just talk a little bit while playing it. But during single player games, I'm usually avoid that, and I'm also going to cut all this out for the VOD upload. So it's just for the live stream section. Yeah, but as I said, I'm a really big, I'm an engineer myself, so and researcher too, AI researcher especially, and I really, really care a lot about technology and all that stuff. So for me, it's an interesting topic, but I know that a lot of people just want to play games. But I just want, sometimes to show, to just play games, that amazing things really happen in the background. For example, when you're going to get the Switch 2 and there's going to be FSR. Oh no, wait, it's going to be an NVIDIA chip. So when you get DLSS on your Switch 2 and you're going to have amazing graphics and performance on on a handheld, it's going to feel good, right? It's going to feel good. And I already think that you get a lot of other mobile hardware. I don't know if the ROG Ally also, yeah, I think it also has DLSS, right? But anyway, it's so important for these low-powered devices too, because it's going to be a huge game changer. And I always know, and it's not everything. It's also when you play Mario Wonders, for example, which is on the Switch, right? It's one of the prettiest games I've seen so far. In general, not from a technology perspective, but just from looking at it is fun, right? Mario Wonders is just a fun game to look at. And I can just imagine what they will do when they get more hardware to back that up, because then they can have the technology and the insane art style and visual fidelity that they bring along. And yeah, so it's going to get really, really cool, I think. But be right back in 1 minute. I'm back, and now we're finally gonna play the game. Insane levels of copium detected. No, we have to go somewhere. I just don't know where, so... Yeah, okay, last topic, burn-in. No idea. I have no idea if it's gonna affect me. I'm gonna try to avoid desktop use too much, and I'm probably gonna hide the taskbar if I should ever use longer for desktop. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how burn is gonna affect me, and especially for my desktop OLED that I'm gonna get, it might be something that just forces you to upgrade every now and then. I heard very positive things about that, but also very negative things. So I mean positive in a way that it didn't happen. But really curious to see. I mean, this television obviously has good burn-in detection, but protection. But I don't know if it's enough, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can always, you know, generate an environment where you can easily get burn-in. Yeah. But otherwise, I think the closest... I just don't know, honestly. Was it the mines? Oh yeah, and virtual surround is really good these days. It's really insane. It sounds like the sound's coming from everywhere. It is really, really cool. I think, yeah, sure, you can get maybe a little bit better sound by going for a real physical surround system. But to be honest, the difference is almost so small. Because, you know why I can tell you that? Because I have a physical surround system when I play with my PC here. I mean, this is basically entirely physical. And when I play on my television, it also sounds super good, right? I mean, the surround sound. The only thing that's maybe... Not even that. No, I would just say it sounds really good. You know, I'm not an audiophile person. I mean, I, you know, play instruments, can sing, all that stuff. But, and you know, I'm not that bad at you know, hearing stuff. But I don't care too much about the details, right? It's not like I'm, oh my god, I really, really need that detail to be perfect. Otherwise, I'm gonna go crazy or whatever. That's not at all how it works. I'm just so curious. Is this shader compilation stuttering? I just don't know why it stutters, right? We upgraded the driver just today, but I don't know. I mean, this is really bad. This is really bad stuttering, and it might be shader compilation based, but I just don't know. It feels a bit weird because the game really didn't have these issues before. Wait, what is this? Wait, where the fuck am I? What the fuck? I can't remember any of this. Wait, when did we get here? No, I seriously don't know. I'm pretty sure we were here, right? But that's not where we left off, for sure. We didn't leave the area here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were here before, so I can't tell too much, talk too much about that. Yeah, by the way, what's really great about the HDR in this game is the lamp, how it looks, and how particle effects from enemies look, from the casters. They look really, really cool. Yeah, but unfortunately the stuttering is kind of strong. And it might be shader compilation stuttering, but not like I can really tell. It seems like it could be. Wait, did we? Oh wait, as far as I know, yeah, we came this way, but why does it stutter so much? Oh, the AoE on that is insane. We never looted this, so kind of curious to see what's gonna happen here. Did we really come this way? I can't remember, right? Yeah, I mean the game really is super stuttery at the moment. I'm pretty sure we were down here before. But why didn't we pick up the items? Right? Why would we not pick up the items? Kind of super weird. Really? I just can't remember if we were here before or not. Yeah, I can't remember at all. I mean, we legit didn't loot anything here? And why is it stuttering so much? Oh, well. Yeah, but VSync doesn't really matter because that's because of DLSS. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they patched something? Or it was really the graphics driver that caused the new shader compilation stuttering stuff. We weren't here before. Man, that's really unfortunate that I'm so confused now. Maybe we came up here and we didn't really check there. We just walked this way. But that seems really unlike me, right? So this is for sure not where we left off, and I'm kind of super confused. Because we had two other ways where we could go. Maybe there were three and we didn't even notice, so... Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just go here and fight this dude. Oh, I mean, fair game. Man, that's unfortunate. All the stuttering. We also weren't here. I honestly don't know. How is it possible that we have a checkpoint, but we never visited any of it? Like what? It kind of makes zero sense, right? Why would we do that? Yeah, if the stuttering persists, I mean, all I can do really is restart the game, I guess. But it does seem to be shader compilation stuttering because it doesn't reoccur at areas where we were already, so... I don't fucking know, man. This looks like I never was here before. I really can't remember any of this. Yeah, this part I kinda can remember. We came all the way down here, sure, but... And then we went where? Jesus Christ, what is happening? That's really new. I don't know what the problem is with this. Maybe the driver update wasn't so good. We shouldn't have done it. Just came out today for... oh yeah, right, Alan Wake 2. Wait, this is the mansion. But why did we end up somewhere completely different? Yeah, seriously, why did we end up somewhere completely different? Well, did we go up only? No. Not only up, it's... we didn't, right? No, we didn't. Why did we... we had the checkpoint, so you must have gone here before, for sure, so... What exactly is the issue here? I mean, it might just be me, right? Maybe it's just me misremembering everything here. So... it could be totally on me, but... yeah, I can remember this part for sure. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I remember this part, but... I don't remember at all coming out here. Maybe we talked about something else and was really distracted. This is the only explanation I kind of have. Just going in here. Just don't know, man. Wait. Oh, maybe there are multiple ways here, and we didn't go the other way. Nah, I probably just was closed here. Okay, but we're... oh, you survived with 1 HP. I think we actually... man, I don't know what's going on. It must be shader compilation stuttering, but I really don't know. Oh, maybe they didn't pre-compile the shaders properly with this version. Man, I really wish I knew... yeah, this is the area for sure where we progressed then later on. So there was another entire area going forward. It just doesn't make sense to me, right? Because I mean, I recognize the burning village part, but I thought it was before the mine and not afterwards, so... how exactly did we even get there? It must be around here somewhere, right? We just came here... we got in here. There must be another way, right? Just here and then left? No fucking way. No fucking way. We missed the entire area? Yeah, sure, because... yeah, we went like this. Oh, checkpoint. We didn't ever go this way. That's crazy. We might have missed the entire area. Is that bad game design? Huh. I mean, maybe. I mean, you know, the player goes into this direction, never really checks this part. I mean, that could actually be kind of sus. So that explains why there is an entire area over there. Now the question is, do we want to progress where we were before, or do we want to go back down here? I mean, we're pretty close to both areas, so I guess it's fine either way. But So this is an entirely new area too. And this is really crazy level design here. I mean, so do we want to beat this first? I mean, I can still look up the other area. I might forget about this one if I don't do it though. So let's just do this one, and then we are going to go back to where we were the last time. But I can tell you, this is kind of crazy. The fact that we missed an entire area. I don't want to know what else I missed. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, but I still think it's crazy just to think about it, that we basically could have missed everything here. Yeah, but I really would like to know why it stutters suddenly. Yeah, seriously, it's kind of weird that it stutters so hard. Maybe, just maybe, restarting the game might help. I mean, that's basically what I'm gonna do now. Otherwise, what do I have open? Almost nothing, to be honest. And I forgot what I wanted to check too. Yeah, right, I wanted to check if my other display by any mistakenly left it on, and then we have two screens, but I don't think we do. No. This all looks really like it should, so that's not the problem. I'm just gonna restart the game, to be honest. I think this is the right thing to try out here. Maybe just give him another go at the shader compilation, but it might actually be the new NVIDIA driver, unfortunately. So if it's the new NVIDIA driver, that's basically on me. Okay, so just starting the game up again. Okay, I think when I said that I want to be able to charge attack right after rolling in Steam, the people misunderstood. They thought I wanted to remove the heavy attack after rolling. That's not the case. I want it to be exactly the same. There's a patch? Really? Okay, there was a patch. Currently, maybe they just live patched what we had as an issue. The devs are super active on this game. Wait, there's a new loading screen? Oh, is there a Halloween event going on? No way. Really? Major quality of life improvements. Wait, that's Remnant 2. That's Remnant 2. But we have a new loading screen, and In-laws of the Fallen. Seriously, the devs are doing such an amazing work here on this game. I'm really happy about that. That really shows that they care. Man, this game so much different than other games when it comes to how devs care. They really fucking care. Yeah, nobody can say that they don't care. These devs care, even if they don't do the best job ever, in your opinion. I still think you should value the pure engagement they have with the game, right? Maybe it's cross-network play that causes issues too. That never really worked for us. Online part. So wait. Settings, online part, multiplayer. Yes. Session password. Okay, so what I want basically, just so I can show you, is when you dodge, you heavy attack, right? You instantly heavy attack, no matter if you hold or press the button, right? You have this attack. If you stand still, you press, you do the heavy attack, you hold, you charge, right? Why can't I roll, hold to charge immediately, right? I know what the problem is. The animation basically would have to go into a charge attack, but in my opinion, it makes it really annoying to charge attack after a roll, because you have to artificially wait and try to min-max the timing yourself, which feels super bad, right? It's not a good input. Yeah, but it's super interesting to see that's basically one of the things that happened here. So the game has some kind of new icon when it loads, and that's new, right? Is it a Halloween patch? I mean, it's Halloween pretty soon. We're gonna celebrate. You know, go to friends and chill a bit. Well, that's new. That wasn't there before, right? There was a lamp just before. We just live patched our game. Which might explain the insane stuttering, by the way. I hope it does. Yeah, sometimes just, restarting is really one of the first tech tips I would give to anybody. Have an issue? Restart. If it doesn't fix it, then you can troubleshoot, right? Wouldn't it be funny if the entire area was new? No, it isn't. I think the patch just came out. Ooh, that looks pretty hot. Kind of not sure if we can progress here. Oh, and Asmongold quit the game. Rage quit when he got killed by the moths, which you can actually identify. Yeah, I think this game really shows if you know your shit about the game design or not. If you criticize some parts of the game, which are objectively very well made, just because you're bad at recognizing patterns and stuff in games, I just think it shows, right? For me, this game is like the difference maker. Because it's not perfect by any means, but it's very well designed in many regards. So I think not seeing these parts and criticizing parts without reason. Oh, it has B- scaling. Oh, it's even heavier. B- scaling, that's a new weapon for us. Wait, it has fire damage? But it does only need agility. You know what I really like about this game? Requirements are actually listed in a way that, well, I mean, Souls also lists them properly, but I think you don't see all the stats, so you just see what you really need. I don't know if Souls did it that way, but I just like it. I don't know if actually I don't remember if Souls did it that way, but it's really good. It's really good. You just look at it. Yeah, so I think this is really good, and it's going to bring fire scaling to us. So for a build, that's nice. But because I think this game, first of all, technically, visually, this game is the best looking Souls-like, just from a technical perspective. There is no argument there. It's not about art design, it's just from a technical perspective, right? It is by far the most advanced visual game. Yeah, that's basically it. But when it comes to game design, I think this game does so many small things. Wait, is HDR on? No, interesting. Does look like HDR is on, kinda. But sometimes, like I said, SDR can look like HDR because the lamp is really prominent at the moment. Just gonna check if it does look. No, it does look exactly like that when captured. Yeah. Like I said, this game has a lot of great game design. I think not seeing that is probably. I mean, you know, like I said before, the picture quality. If it looks good, it is good. If you're having fun, it's good, right? If you're not having fun, it's not good for you. But it doesn't mean it's badly designed. There is a difference, right? You can not have fun with something that's perfectly designed. Maybe it's just not for you. And I think this game might just be a game where a lot of people criticize it for things which are well made because they don't notice they're well made, right? Maybe you're just not able to, you know, comprehend how the game was meant to be played or how maybe some elements interact and whatever. That's okay, but blaming the game on objectively wrong, you know, I mean objective, you know, like very easily to prove wrong ideas and issues is kind of, you know, yeah, it just shows that you're easily proven to be an incompetent player, right? I mean, Asmo is not the best player ever or whatever. He's super smart, but unfortunately, sometimes he just doesn't really. What the fuck? I'm all the way up there. Wait, where? I'm blind. Oh, there. Yeah, but we can go in there. But I'm kind of curious to see, is there anything else here? Yeah, but sometimes you just, you know, he criticizes things in a way which just shows that he doesn't really know what he's talking about. And that's okay, right? Not everybody is perfect, and nobody's perfect, basically. Also make a lot of mistakes and everything. But I just don't like when games are bashed and for, you know, not really precise reasons, right? When I was upset with Elden Ring and Lies of P, I had very, very concrete things I was talking about, right? I had issues, I couldn't exactly name them, show them, and talk what I would have preferred, but it's nothing like, at least for me, I don't know, maybe it's the case, but it was nothing like, oh, I missed the basic mechanic, right? It's my fault, right? I missed the mechanic, so basically I should have done something differently. Because I watched a lot of gameplay from other people and they all did it in the same fashion, so I didn't really play it wrong or whatever. But I still think that, you know, arguing against things, you should always be open, you know, for critique when you do that. Like, you know, okay, I did X, Y, Z, and oh my god, did they actually add an indicator what's new? No fucking way. They didn't add that, no. That's so cool. I just complained about that a few days ago. I love when that happens. It happens kind of more often than I would have thought, that patches add stuff within such a short time after me complaining. That's really cool. The devs are really on fire here. That's really cool. I really like that. I want to see in the patch notes if I'm actually right about that. It's going to be really hard to find that. Yeah, new items now feature a small icon to indicate that they're newly acquired. You know, it's just like these small touches show that they give a shit, right? You don't need these features, but they're really, 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 you know, great, right? They really make it so much better to play the game. And I think it's so cool they added that because, you know, I was just, oh, what did I just pick up? Easy. I just could find out within a few seconds, right? No more issues. And then there are players, you know, the negative and these, and you know, I understand it. The argument, oh, I should have been in the game since day one, blah blah blah. I get it, right? But the thing is the game finished? Is it playable? Is it relatively bug free? Is the performance okay? Is everything fine? Good. The game was released in a good state, right? Content is there, everything feels polished enough, okay. Then the devs patch small shit. A lot of small shit, right? Afterwards. Is that an unfinished game? No, it is not. It is a game where the devs give a shit. Jedi Survivor came out and was complete trash, unplayable technical shit on PC. What is it, how many patches did it get? What did it change? I don't know how many patches it got, but it's still technical shit, right? It doesn't work. It's broken. These are the releases which are unfinished. This game for sure came out in a good enough state. Yes, it had some really weird issues, but they were fixed within 3 days. I don't give a shit about a game can come out entirely broken as long as it's fucking patched within a reasonable amount of time. And they really patch every fucking day. Small things I didn't even fucking notice, right? They add quality of life stuff, which, and you might say, yeah, but you know, it shouldn't have been blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sure. In an ideal world, everything's perfect, right? But there are devs that actually change little things, right? If you go into Genshin Impact, how long did we wait for basic shit? Years! We waited years for basic shit. We still don't have HDR on PC. We still don't have high... okay, well, that's probably Apple who paid. We still don't have high FPS. But I just think, you know, it's so unfair. These devs really work hard on their game after in the release window to fix new occurring issues and mass feedback stuff they maybe didn't even think about, right? Stuff that the game basically couldn't have had because they didn't know the players wanted it, right? You could say, yeah, but that's what alpha testers are for. You're never gonna get as much data as from millions of players who are going to play your game upon release, or thousands of players, right? An alpha test is always small, it costs money, and even if you use data, it's limited to parts of the game. It's completely fucking normal to patch a game when it's out. It's the best world, right? You're never, sure, and when you have an SNES game, you're not going to go to the internet and patch your fucking game, so it better be done, right? But the thing is, would most SNES games be better if they were patched for a few weeks later? Sure, they would be better, of course. Every fucking single one of them, because none of them are perfect. So shut the fuck up if the devs are patching your fucking game. Be happy about it, right? If the game is not broken on release and content is there and everything's fine, it's not perfect like every other fucking game, but then they patch it and make it even better? I mean, come on. It's not like the game was unfunctional before. Okay, it partially was with the controls, but that was for 3 days. But still, you know what I mean. That's why I really hate these negative fucking people. People are working hard, even after release, even though they don't have to, because you fucking bought the game. Who gives a shit? They could just fucking do Jedi Survivor, sell out, and fuck off, right? So no, I really hate that. There's also CD Projekt Red, for example. Okay, Cyberpunk was unacceptable on console, on last-gen consoles. Nothing to argue there. But I still think they didn't have to do the patching thing, right? They could just have said, yeah, I mean, CD Projekt Red, maybe a little bit less, it's a bit more difficult. But for example, No Man's Sky, right? No Man's Sky, the devs could have said, yep, easy money, boys, we out. And they could have lived as millionaires forever, right? For their entire lives. No problem. But what did they do? They actually hired people, fixed the fucking game over years for free. So much content, right? So they tried to make the game you wanted to. And yes, of course, they sold a piece of shit hardware software when it came out. A fucking tech demo, that's all it was. But it's still, you know, it still basically is something people don't have to do. And then to shit on them just because you think a game came out unfinished. Man, this game, compared to this game, it came out so polished compared to so many other games recently, right? Stop fucking complaining about everything, really. You can complain about so much. Sure, there's a little bit of transversal shader stuttering now. Okay, whatever. I mean, shit happens. It's okay, right? It's not a deal breaker. But still, it is so good to see that actually somebody cares about a game. I've seen so many fucking good games where nobody gives a shit about them. And which is so sad, right? There's so much work inside the game, and you just need to wait for maybe, you know, they just needed to work a little bit more, a few months more, a few weeks more, and the game would have been so perfect, right? And this is what the games here and the game devs here are doing. They're really trying to get the game to a level which is not possible without the feedback of a lot of people and a lot of time, which, you know, the reality is they have at some point to release the game. I know it's crazy. They don't have fucking 50 years to fix their game, right? And they especially don't have the time to playtest the game for as many hours as we are playtesting it when it's released. So of course the post-launch version is going to be way better, right? That's normal. Every single game. And if you have an issue with that, there is the easiest and cheapest solution ever. It's not called touch grass and go outside. It's actually called fucking buy the games 1 to 2 years later. If you do that, you save a fuck ton of money if you're not maybe Nintendo or Sony store bound. But if you're a PC gamer, you're going to save a fuck ton of money. Chances are super high it's going to come into Game Pass or if even free on Epic Store. You're going to get it super cheap. Maybe even very likely with a lot of additional content. Maybe even free DLC. And it's going to be super patched. If you really care about the best gaming experience with your games, you are not a day one player. And that has nothing to do with the culture of the games, right? Every single fucking game will come out in a non-perfect state. Maybe there are a few, very, very few exceptions where they try to come as close as possible. But Rockstar, Nintendo, all of these games come out in an unfinished state, right? They're not perfect. All of these will be patched to perfection. Some, of course, are very, very bad at release and become way better later on, for Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky or whatever. And there, okay, No Man's Sky would have needed to wait 7 years or something, but or even longer. I mean, it's not finished, right? Maybe it's going to be better in 10 years. I don't know. Maybe it's like Star Citizen's never going to finish. I mean, it's already more finished than Star Citizen is probably ever going to be. But, you know, that's another topic. But still, don't fucking complain when people are actually doing their fucking job, right? That makes me really, 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 really angry. No, not angry. More like sad, right? Also a bit angry, but not really like, I'm angry because I'm going to change the world and blah, blah, blah. How dare they? It's more like, it's really sad for the devs who are really fucking working their ass off and they don't have to anymore, right? The game is sold and nobody gives a shit, right? You're not, the amount of people you're going to convince now by patching, probably not a lot of people, right? The jury's out. Asmongold put his video out saying the game's, whatever you call it, I don't know what you call it, it's bad, uninstall, whatever. Which he did, right? And that's not gonna change just because there are a few patches, right? I mean, the new stuttering here is really unfortunate, though, I must say. Yeah, that's something which might have to do with the NVIDIA driver, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix that soon, but... Wait, we are back at... Oh, I completely remember this area now. This is where we progress further. Here you have the rotational element. Yeah. Okay, now I know where we are. So this is basically a loop. So we don't want to go here. Yeah, but still, you know, it's just something I think you have to keep in mind when you you know, talk online, because there are people with emotions and feelings behind them, behind the words and products you see, right? Some are full of shit, some are honest people. And if I can say anything about these devs from their interaction post-launch with the game, is that they care about this fucking game. They care, right? They really, really care. I'm pretty sure every person, not everybody, most of the people on the team did their absolute best and are still trying their absolute best to make this the most fun and enjoyable experience for us. I really think that. That's just my impression. I'm not in the, I'm not in their office, I'm not talking to them, I have no insight, but I still, from what I can tell, I just think this game is one of the best examples of post-launch support I've ever witnessed. And I think it's so disrespectful to shit on people by saying, they're just doing it because the game was unfinished. No, it's not. It's not a sign of an unfinished game, you fucking moron. It's just a sign of devs caring, right? Every game has something you can patch. It's not like they're patching, oh, fix the issue where you can finally attack or something. Oh, fix the issue where you don't fall through the ground every 3 meters or something, right? It's not something like that. They're actually patching small little details. So yeah, it's just, and the performance, I'm really sorry. If you have a shit PC and maxed this game out, of course it's gonna run like ass because it looks like a next-gen game, right? It looks, and it technically is a next-gen game. And if you have a 1060 and you want to max it out, of course it's not gonna run. It's like if you're gonna play Alan Wake 2, I don't know how the performance exactly is, but if you're gonna play Alan Wake 2 with path tracing on an old GPU, of course it's gonna run like ass. By the way, the game looks amazing with rasterized lighting too, so just don't use path tracing if you don't have the overhead. Actually, I think the biggest difference is in the shadows, but yeah. So I still think that, I don't know what the fuck we're doing up here, by the way. This looks like something you could actually, push or something. Yeah, and I'm a really harsh critic of games, right? I usually shit on games if they're bad. Just because I don't shit on the people, I shit on the game, right? Because I really, really dislike some, sections of games which are not well made and blah, blah, blah. And I just don't like bad design, right? I'm really a person that doesn't like it. So if I talk so positively about this, it's because it really is something positive in my opinion, right? It's something I should really highlight as very, very positive. I mean, it's very rare that I see something like that, right? For indie devs, it's very common actually. So for smaller teams, very common that they work and push patches quickly. I mean, bigger teams usually don't do that, and there is also a reason why this is mostly on PC, right? I think on console it's very difficult to push big updates because you have to go through Sony's and Microsoft's, controlling mechanism, whatever, and testing. So they might be automated, but still they have to be done. And it's something where you can't push it as fast. But I still think it's very, very remarkable and very something you should be positive about. And I know that not everybody shits on that, right? Most people probably don't. But just for those who shit on it, I really think it's something you shouldn't do. You just shouldn't do it. Basically, whenever you see people putting in effort and caring about something, and you probably didn't even play the game, right? Most of the people who shit on something either are ass at the game, at any game in that moment. I mean, no, not any game. If they shit on a good game for the wrong reasons, usually it's user error, right? If they shit on it for the good reasons, their personal good reasons, it's perfectly fine, right? You can say, I don't like XYZ. I'm shit at it, and I didn't understand the mechanic, but I don't want to learn it. I think the game does a bad job of teaching me it, so I'm never going to learn it, or I'm not the type of player for that. Whatever. Okay, no problem. But if you say, oh, the game is shit, blah, 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 because of XYZ, and it's not shit because of XYZ, it's because of something different, I just think it's, it's dumb, right? It's just dumb, and I still can't believe that there's nothing up there, right? Sorry for walking in circles while ranting a bit, but yeah, I just don't know, man. And then you can get your Starfield release, right? This game is like 10 million times more finished than Starfield. No, not joking, not even saying that in a joking way, right? No cap. It's just actually 10,000 times more finished than Starfield. Yeah, so it's what I played on release, right? When I played Starfield, it was just absolutely unacceptable for me personally, right? It was not unplayable by any means, but it was actually so close to being not fun for all the wrong reasons that I really thought, like, why the fuck would I do that, right? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go into Umbral, and the reason for that is because I really feel we are missing out on something here. Yeah, I really feel like there's something in here. There's something in here that we missed. Yeah, like I said, I'm tired today, so when I'm tired, I'm maybe a bit more emotionally engaged into topics which I usually respectfully ignore. You know, I'm pretty good at ignoring stupidity because it's just it's so common, right? Like, let's be real. Most of the things you're gonna read online are, and the majority of things you're gonna read online are probably gonna be kind of stupid, which is okay, right? It's stupidity is nothing you're you know, you're in charge of, right? I'm a strong believer in determinism and also this ability to select your own genes and, you know, your own genetic dispositions and everything. So you're not in charge of your intelligence, right? Born dumb, not your fault, right? Nothing you should be ashamed of, nothing anybody should make fun of, right? So I know why these things exist, and I'm very tolerant towards them. So usually I don't really, you know, care too much, but in this case, kind of, you know, I feel like people who should know better are shitting on the game, and yeah, I don't like that. You can shit on the game for the bosses, for example. They look kind of okayish, but I mean, animation-wise, they're very far away from Souls bosses, but they are really boring, right? They're not really challenging, they're not very engaging, and that's something you can shit on if you want to, no problem. But I don't like if you shit on the fun, you know, great creative design, because what ends up happening at the end, if you shit too much on these things for the wrong reasons, the devs are gonna get the wrong impression, right? They're gonna be like, oh yeah, sure, I did X, Y, Z wrong, everybody hated it, I'm gonna change it. In reality, that wasn't even the issue, right? Maybe the issue was how you especially that's something I saw with Sekiro. When Sekiro came out, so many people, including, you know, streamers I watched for a long time and still am watching this day, to this day, which are veterans of the Soul genre and whatever, they played it so atrociously wrong, right? I mean, can you play a game wrong? I mean, yeah, sure, you can play a game wrong. It's like, you know, it's like not solving the equation for the right reason, right? 1 + 1 is 2, but you might not even understand why it's 2. You just say 2, and if you try long enough, it's going to be correct. And some people just play games like that, and that's fine. But the moment they start to not enjoy themselves, it's the first thing where I think like, okay, that's kind of, I don't know, okay, that's okay, but then they start to bash the game while they're playing it completely wrong. I'm sorry, but then you're the problem, right? That's like the guy who couldn't complete the Cuphead tutorial meme. If he said like, oh, the game's so bad, oh no, oh, it's such a bad game, who would give a shit, right? That's why I always say, look at the gameplay, look at what the people are doing, and yes, you might not be able to analyze the game to a degree where you can actually tell if the person is actually too dumb to play the game, but I can assure you, if something looks cool to you, even though other people don't like it, just try it, right? I would have missed this game if I really gave, you know, if I looked at the mixed opinions and everything. There are not a lot of people that talk extremely positive about the game, right? So there are a lot of people who really shit on the game. And I would not have tried it, right? I would probably have said, yeah, I'm gonna pass this one, right? Looks cool to me, but I trust the opinion of others, and spoiler, I do not. I usually trust my opinion a lot, and then I take a lot of other opinions and try to find out if I can somehow find a middle ground between my opinion and the other opinions to really form a new opinion, right? The final enhanced opinion. And yeah, in this case, I really was very negatively biased towards the game. via other opinions, but I just thought it looked like something I want to try, right? It kind of looked fun. But everybody was saying, not everybody, a lot of people said it was not fun. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people find it a good game, right? It's not a bad game, by the way. A lot of people agree that it's probably a good game, right? But it's still super, super annoying when you want to, you know, enjoy a game and you want to play it and you're like, already you come into the game expecting shit, right? People don't like it. I don't know what they did there. I think it's probably the new Nvidia update. It might also be, and that's maybe an unfortunate side effect, it looks very much like shader compilation stuttering, because it occurs as soon as you enter new areas, new effects appear and whatever. Yeah, but the thing is, it might also be an unfortunate thing that happens when you update your GPU drivers and you don't experience the game in the order the devs intended. Because what you're doing basically when you're fast traveling is you're streaming a lot of assets at the same time, which you might have explored more gradually at the first time, right? So I don't know if this is actually... I'm pretty... Oh, sorry, I didn't want to attack him. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be patched. Hopefully, very soon, but it's something that wasn't in the game before, and I would think it is probably related to my GPU driver update. Yeah, so hard to tell who exactly is to blame for this. But is it unplayable? No, because the shader compilation stuttering is not going to occur again, and it just makes new areas a bit more annoying to explore. I mean, and you might say, but new, weren't you here before? Yeah, that's the unfortunate downside. Shader compilation has to be redone for every driver update. Yeah, every new GPU and driver constellation has to redo the entire compilation, which is the reason, by the way, why game devs only pre-compile shaders for consoles, because the driver and GPU constellation, well, GPU is always the same, easy clap already, already so much easier, and then the driver is usually also very predictable which version it will be. So yeah, shader compilation not an issue on consoles because it can easily be resolved, but on the very, very complex hardware landscape from PC gaming to mobile, Steam Deck, whatever devices, it's very, very difficult on PC to do it without a local shader compilation step, which you should always do as a dev, right? There's no excuse for omitting the shader compilation step, in my opinion. Yeah, shader compilation definitely one of the most important steps to undertake, prevent atrocious stuttering in your games. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is a new thing. We're gonna upgrade the other spear. I just don't know. I just don't know if we got it from an enemy or not. Yeah, that's something I don't know. Could they have different amount of runes too? Yeah, very interesting. So did the Skin Stealer Spear drop from an enemy, or did it drop? I mean, would I even want to swap out two of our spears, right? I like that it has good scaling, first of all. What makes this spear better than the one I currently have? By the way, we should look at all the items now, which is unfortunate, of course, because we we already have them, but just in the interest of seeing the new stuff we actually got, we should all go through our entire inventory once and look at everything, which you won't have to do if we start the game from scratch, obviously. But so where are our items? Marco's axe, pure blade mace, scale breaker, Russian gaze. Blacksmith Sprite. Serenity Shield. Okay, yeah, we're just doing this to get rid of the entire of symbols. Okay, we have these two here. Which one of those would I want to get rid of? Probably the +6 one. It does significantly less damage, but it has better scaling, right? That's so dumb, kinda. But it's so much worse, which is kind of weird because this one's still less heavy, right? It's crazy how much better it is. I mean, sure, it's +2 on top of it, but +7 would be 278. It just doesn't make sense, right? I mean, in the long term, this one's gonna get better for sure, so... Yeah, I just don't know which one I want to keep, to be honest. Well, at the moment, obviously this one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna swap out this one here for this one. And just because it has elemental effects on it, right? And we're also gonna put it on our offhand. It should be quite the same length. Yeah, I think they're kind of samey. Let's see what stats it has, because it might actually be more interesting as main weapon. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it because we didn't get a lot of spears. Would I want to have double these spears? I don't think so, because I think that a lot of enemies are also physical weak, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, why not? Let's just go with the spear here. Sorry. God, I'm so tired today. Insufficient materials? Really? Right, so we could only get it to +6, which is, I think, in line with the other one, but I'm just gonna check. Yeah. So how much does it have at the moment? It has roughly 2 more. I kind of get the feeling that the ratings or the scalings aren't as important. Because if you look at that, it has D+ scaling on strength, and it almost scales exactly. Well, you have fire here. Okay, that's true. And percentage-wise, 140, 250. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to tell if this is actually better or not. But I really like it, just to try it out, right? This is try it out. Fire damage, yeah, that's what man, it's so sad that they don't have the description option from Souls games that you can look at all the stats here, because, you know, whenever you see this, you're like, yeah, what does it do exactly? And, yeah, for example, there's 100 on fire up there, I think, right? But we are still light. Oh, right, we're leveling our HP. That makes sense, kinda. Is it longer? Kind of looks like we're holding it in a way which might make it longer. But if you think about it, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave the other one on the main hand because we have a lot more damage on this one. But yeah, hard to tell. Upgrade Synchronerics. What they really should add is rebindable controls. Maybe they did. I always checked, but this time I forgot. Because they patch so much. I don't read the patch notes every day. Yeah, I don't think they did yet, but they should probably add that rather sooner than later, in my opinion. Yeah, I think you're going to see this, right? Yeah. Should still buy 2 seeds.
chosen bearer of the lamp. Like you, I serve.
Wither damage and wither defense. Okay, this all is quote-unquote new because of the patch, but yeah, let's just buy 2 of them. Should we use a quick? They also don't have the quick items from other Souls games. It would have been a nice touch, not gonna lie. I really would have appreciated the quick slot item, because like that we could, for example, socket the getaway moth or whatever you call it. Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do now is what I said before, is basically go into the inventory. Oh, we got new ones. Light attacks deal bonus damage, but only deal wither damage. That's super interesting. That's so interesting. I don't know if that's good, right? Because what it basically means, you have to attack with your heavy attack too. So you do more damage, but you need, and they can even regain the HP. So the damage bonus should be significant for this to be worth it. Wait, how can this one be new? Yeah, that's not so great. Soul Flace Sun Duration. No, I think we're fine. What I'm most interested in is the all screen here. I mean, if we even can see if something's new here. Yeah. Lump Hammer. Wait, it's actually a weapon? No, it's ammunition. Oh, you can throw them and stagger them. Okay. Yeah, the entire throwing ecosystem and casting ecosystem, I can't talk about it. The game might be an actual shit game when it comes to casting, so my opinion there is I have no idea. Could be great, could be shit. Also, when it comes to PvP, didn't do PvP yet. I know now it has PvP because a lot of people in the thread said, yeah, but I want my heavy attack, blah, blah, because they didn't understand it. I actually want to be able to do both. Okay, so we have maps here. We have right. We didn't socket it. I must scroll about that. Okay, that's great. These are the tutorials. They didn't mark those as new, which is kind of nice. 3,200. And I still think the game enables farming in low-level areas really well, because the higher-level areas don't really give much more vigor, which is actually totally fine in my opinion. That's pretty okay. Noble Woman leggings. Okay. Noble woman dress. I mean, let's be real, it probably doesn't look that great, right? I mean, it's better in every regard. Just plain, but I think it looked pretty bad when I looked at it last time. I mean, you know, it's not terrible. Not terrible. We should still go socket, but let's go out of Umbral first. Yeah, Alan Wake 2. Are we gonna play Alan Wake 2? I mean, I really like Remedy's games. I like, well, not all of them actually. I like Control especially, right? Quantum Break was not so much something I was interested in, but I didn't play it, so I don't know if I really like it or not. Wait, can we actually make this look kind of good by changing the tint? Wait, this actually looks even more so like Millennia, right? We're just missing the cape. But I kind of really like the other one we have. And also this is going to put us on medium, so I like this one more. It also it kind of gives us the cape. But I really like the tint idea, right? The tints are, in my opinion, smart. And offer a lot of opportunities to make better looking armor because you know, color-wise alignment is very important, way more so than any other component actually. If you have fitting colors, almost everything goes, you know, well together. And if you have non-fitting colors, you can look really bad. So that's a really cool solution to that other games also have found, by the way, but Souls games so far have omitted. I must really say, yeah, I really like the screen here too. I mean, if I had the choice, I would instantly go for 4K OLED, 240 Hertz instantly, but that's gonna have to wait until they're actually out. And actually out in a good way, right? Because I'm not gonna buy a WOLED. That's just not gonna happen. I don't like the subpixel layout at all. Unless Windows starts supporting it, but I find that highly doubtful. Okay, we're gonna buy the rune and then we're good to go. Socket runes. Wait, can we remove this one from this one? Yeah, unequip. We want to have the full choice here. Oh, star 2 times. Gain health upon killing an enemy. I mean, we don't have a choice, right? Oh, that's cool. That sounds cool. HP regeneration. I mean, a little bit, you know. I mean, it's not the other dual wielding damage bonus we had here. Wait, where was it? Yeah, I still think they should definitely show the stat screen there, and also the changes, because it's really I hate not being. Also the rings, right? The rings should be clear. Yes, I found out it's a 0.1 multiplier increase in the top right. We are not a 0 point something, and it's not even a 0.1. It is a percentage base, 10%. Why do I know that? Because when you reach Umbral 1.2, you're at 1.21, I think. So it is percentage based, and yeah, it basically changes dynamically based on how much you have. So 10% more flat. The thing is, fucking write it here, right? Tell me the fucking stats. Tell me what this does. Because all this obfuscation just basically makes it harder to make informed decisions. We don't want to go and test everything, right, as players? I don't think we should be also expected to do that, right? Nobody should go to us and be like, hey, if you want to know what it does, just try it out, right? Just try it out is so dumb because it's going to waste so much time, and most people are not going to care, and they're going to have suboptimal builds, and they're going to be like, game shit, I don't do damage, you know? And I really don't like that. So please, devs, be as open, as transparent as you can with stuff where it doesn't really matter. That's my quote-unquote advice, devs, right? I just completely fucked up where we needed to go. Alright, we went to the mines. Man, I still can't believe that there's actually another... Wait, did we actually make progress here before I go here? Wait, what exactly is... Wait, what is... place? No, I don't think that was it. Yeah, the game was very complex. I really liked it, by the way. It's just, like I said, a few days you didn't play for a few days? Yeah, you're not gonna remember everything, right? It's gonna feel a bit hard to know where you want to go. Does actually attacking reduce fall damage? Wait, how much more damage or less damage should we do now? It's also going to be really hard to tell when we hit a weakness and don't hit a weakness. I mean, it's so much heavier, right? It should be better, but... I don't know. Let's see how much HP we get and all that stuff. I mean, it's a burning area, so I would assume that burning might not be the best fit, but no idea if it works like that. I mean, depends on the enemy placement, right? Yeah, but what we're gonna do here, I think this was the backtracking part. Or was it the backtracking part? No, this was just a dead end, right? Yeah. As far as I know. Could be something completely different. Hi. Yeah, I think this guy looks like somebody who wouldn't really take more damage from fire, but I might be completely wrong about that, and he's super weak to fire. Yeah, let's see how much HP we get back. Yeah, we didn't go here, so all we did was walk around, really? We never actually came back here? Oh, hi. I mean, we do okay damage, right? Yeah, sometimes kind of hard to get behind them. I mean, especially here on the stair where you can go back. Yeah, now what I really appreciate, the game doesn't fucking go, haha, bait it, bait it, bait it, bait it, bait it. Oh, by the way, I mean, they could bait, right? By the way, I'm also input reading, and you know, as of course, in real sports, fighting sports, martial arts, combat, you're gonna pretend you attack, you're gonna feint, all that stuff, of course, right? But there is a degree to physical nonsense. Just the moment where you go wind up a hit, stop before you hit, and then you hit. That makes zero fucking sense, right? It's so fucking dumb. And everything that's physical, not logical, should not be in a game, in my opinion, because it just doesn't make sense to a human being, right? It makes maybe sense after 1,000 hours of playing. Oh, nice. But it doesn't make any sense to other people. So now we have a fire weapon, which is kind of cool. The first elemental weapon we actively chose to use. Might actually turn out that it is a dead end. No, it's not a dead end. Not at all. Yeah, and by the way, also, you might have noticed we're doing that since quite some time. Just, you know, suck for maybe 1 second or something, and you're gonna get all the souls. I think it has a very large, maybe even global sucking in range, so you don't need to worry about picking up everything. Just do it once before you rest and you're going to be fine. Right, so you don't need to pick up everything. I mean, I still do, because whatever, my brain, that's how my brain works, but you can just ignore it, right? You don't have to go there. And they remind me also a little bit of the souls in Zelda. No. I also picked those up, even though by now in Zelda I knew that I didn't need them. I mean, our damage is kind of not the greatest, but let's just assume that this is the area where let's just assume this is the area where we are at our weakest, you know, when it comes to getting. So it probably would be advisable to have 2 elements and physical mix on your weapon, so you just never get scaled too much. I mean, 1 element is also fine if it's not in both weapons, I think. Yeah, I think that is pretty cool, good in general. Yeah, and really, so far, easily a 9 out of 10 for me, the game. Because I just have fun, right? I'm just having fun, right? It's pleasant to play. There's nothing else I can say. It's well made, it looks great. It is a pleasing game. Oh, wait, we're already back down here. Oh, okay, so this entire area was basically just to go back here, which I don't quite understand why you would do that, but... yeah, it would be cool to see if we can one-shot them. Yeah, how much more damage would we do without the fire attacks? And I still don't know if the weapon came from an enemy or not. I mean, if it did, the enemy should have it in hand, right? So going up here. We should actually see it. Yeah, I think these enemies actually are slightly resistant to fire. I don't know why I think that, but yeah. So the fire weapon's probably not going to be the best play here of all times, but I still think it is more than okay to be using it here. Wait, what's that? Oh, that's one of these new things. The Halloween thingies, but I don't think they're going to change a lot. They're just visual changes. Yeah, I mean, pure physical damage is probably the cleanest we can have, but probably just not gonna happen, so I mean, it could happen, but I don't want it to happen, right? I'm just gonna try it out. We're gonna try the fire stuff a little bit. It's just for fun. But I don't think we actually got it from an enemy here. I think it was actually a ground drop, but I might be completely wrong about that. Maybe the big one here, right? Does he have a spear? Doesn't look like he has one. And a lot of very fair hitboxes when it comes to the enemies. I don't think they cheese you really hard here. No, I think we actually got it here, and would also make sense because all these enemies are not really new, so we should already have plenty of those spears. And there is a difference, by the way, between traversal stuttering, which we still have, even though we already were here, and shader compilation. So the game has a little bit of traversal stuttering, it always had. And I must honestly say I do kind of blame Unreal Engine more than the devs for that, because I think the Unreal Engine, as amazing as the visual results are, still needs a little bit more work in general. Just, you know, to be cleaner, and these, you know, small things that they don't impact the experience too much. But I still think we're moving into a very interesting direction by having the option of even using you know, even more advanced rendering techniques in games, which are like not very simple, right? The geometry part especially. I mean, Lumen is great, don't get me wrong, but basically Lumen is something we can easily brute force by using path tracing at some point, but Lumen is more efficient. But I still think the geometry part and all the asset loading stuff is not as trivial, right? You're never going to have... I mean, for example, yes, you could get more polygons just and more GPU rendering and whatever, and then you could solve the geometry somehow, but I think it is way more algorithmic intensive than just ray tracing. So I think Lumen's great, but it's probably also very, very impactful. Wait, where do we have to go? I think here. Lumen's great and also very impactful, but I still think that we're better off... Wait, we didn't one-shot these before, right? I don't know, we didn't one-shot them either now, so... Yeah, but I still think that Nanite's gonna be the big, you know... big difference more. I mean, it's the entire end, right? It's just a part of it, the animation system, all that stuff, right? It's just a very, very compelling tool set. That's why games like Alan Wake 2 are nice to see, right? Because they're using their in-house engine. But it's going to become more and more apparent that just some aspects of these engines are going to be lacking in regards to the Unreal Engine, right? Because it is literally impossible to compete with a dedicated development team that only, you know... every game that uses the engine even adds more stuff to it, and it is very, very hard to compete there. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to end up having less and less in-house engines, even though it was financially very interesting for a while to have them. Okay, so what we're doing here is just fucking dumb, actually. To be honest, because I can't remember how we got out of here, so I'm just, you know, running around and killing stuff. Which is perfectly fine, I guess. Yeah, and the biggest advantage, obviously, of OLED is in the dark, right? In dark sections, IPS just has a lot of issues. Backlight, bleeding, IPS glow, all that stuff. But I still was very, very positively... I was still very, very positively surprised when I saw the difference, right? I thought it was going to be night and day. When going back to this display, and I would be super annoyed by darker scenes, but that's not the case. My eye is pretty forgiving, right? It's like, who gives a shit? It still looks good, right? And a little bit of fuck me, a little bit of you know, backlight stuff. You get used to it, right? It's something, if you actively are looking for it, you're always gonna see it, sure. And it, of course, it is a little bit less immersive, but it just, you know, it's not... It is not catastrophic, right? It's not like, oh my god, I can never look at this screen again, it's gonna be so shit or whatever, what I expected, right? I was like... That was my big fear, and also one of the reasons why I waited so long to get an OLED TV. And to be honest, because this IPS, I never had a better display, right? This was my best display ever, and... I would say picture quality wise, definitely the TV is now better, but frame rate wise, this one is still the best I ever had. But I still think that if I compared the one I had before to an OLED TV, I probably would have not liked my screen anymore as much, because it still looks okay-ish, but this one definitely looks a lot better. And so I think I just got really lucky to have a good enough screen to not really be annoyed too much by the downsides of the IPS panel, because it's just really a great version of it. Yeah, but I still think OLED is definitely more what I want to go to in the future. Even burn-in, whatever, is like, you know, it is what it is, right? It is an inherent issue, but at the end of the day, I'm not the type of guy to keep my hardware extremely long, so... Yeah, that's something that's probably I'm in a lucky position in to not worry about too much, right? Because I always know that my screens are gonna be at least active for 6 years usually. So if there is a burn-in, it would of course you know, make that a bit more harder to maintain. But then again, you know, in the worst case, from time to time, we're just gonna have to get one screen extra. I mean, you only live once, right? I mean. Yeah, there's a reason to upgrade, there is a reason, right? If there, and the thing is, the screens are so fucking damn good, right? If you have an OLED now, I mean, Jesus Christ, it looks insane, right? Oh, I have to go to the door. It's pretty bad because I don't have endurance. So be right back, I hope I don't die. So yeah, be right back. Gonna have to go quickly again. But what I wanted to finish the point quickly. You know, when I was young, we had these big screens, and not big in like, you know, a big vertical, huge screen for the eye, but a big screen in depth-wise, because it was, you know, a CRT monitor. And you know, back then we liked it, right? We looked at it, it was okay. And it had a lot of advantages over a lot of IPS and TN panels, right? They were so shit, right? When I got my first, I think it was a TN panel. I think it was a TN panel. It was, you know, not mind-blowingly better, because it was worse in some regards. So I thought it was going to be a huge upgrade, and it wasn't. And now you have these, you know, insane OLED TVs which are fucking mind-blowingly good, right? In many regards. Of course, they have weaknesses too, but they're just so good. And I think, you know, the difference is going to become smaller and smaller, right? The size is so small right now. Sure, you can have a television that's I mean, this one's 3.5 centimeters, which is in thickness. Sure, you could have one, right? And then, of course, you could argue what's more important is not the thickness, maybe the weight, because then suddenly you can maybe put it up like a poster on the wall when it's really, really thin. And that's going to change, sure, it's not the end of the line. But the picture quality has reached a point, in my opinion, since 4K, where the resolution for most distances is more than enough, which is why 8K is bullshit, in my opinion. 8K is so irrelevant for most people, and anything beyond 8K is mind-blowingly dumb, to be honest, because 8K you could still argue you go close to the screen, okay, whatever. But for anything VR, higher pixel density is so irrelevant, right? Because you're too far away from the screen to even see it. Or the screen's too small relatively to what you see, your field of view. And I still think that since 4K, HDR, and OLEDs, the color range we have is so good. Yes, it's not perfect. You can always be better. But I still think we're so fucking close to having a perfect picture image, right? It's, perfect from a perception way. It's so nice for your eyes. But I don't think there is a lot of room to improve in that regard, right? It's going to become maybe a more affordable, even more. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to change, but the inherent picture quality, I think, is going to remain quite the same because we're so. I mean, it's going to get better, sure, but I still think it's not going to be dramatically different because we're too close to perfection already, right? Perfection. What does perfection mean? I mean, if you're a robot with a 100K resolution eyes and you see every fucking pixel on a 4K, 16K, 32K, whatever screen, of course, yeah, sure, it's not perfect for them. It's not reality, right? There are pixels, there's still elements, but the goal is to be perfect for your eyes, right? That's always the goal. The goal is the human perception, right? And we are limited by that, right? Hearing, all that stuff, audio, for example. Audio is something that the quality very quickly reached a level which was basically indistinguishable from the real world, right? We're used to audio that sounds like it should sound. It's not like it looks. For example, we look at Lords of the Fallen. It looks good, right? But it doesn't look real, right? You're not like, oh my god, it's a real rock, it's a real human or whatever. We're like, yeah, it's very close, but it looks good, but it's not exactly that, right? But when you hear a sound, it does come very, very close to the original. And what we're working on now in sound, of course, is like directionality, amount of sound sources. There's a lot of super complex path trace stuff and all that stuff. There's super much going on there, which is super computational intensive too. But the sheer, the basic quality doesn't really change too much. And that's why I think screens, for example, it's really cool that the screen itself is becoming less and less a limiting factor, because at the moment we have a limited generation of data in case of games and the display that's kind of limited. But now with OLED, we really have a tool that's more. I mean, it's been there for a while, but OLED had also issues, right? Well, it still has, but one of the main issues was brightness, for example. And the way we're resolving brightness at the moment is through different techniques. To a lot of techniques, there are micro lens arrays, quantum dot stuff. Especially also, you can use cooling layers with AI algorithms which do dynamic cooling predictions and whatever to protect the, to increase the maximum potential brightness without harming the display. So there's super many techniques that are coming out, but I still think that even though, we are far away from a display which can actually, emulate the sun brightness, right? Really blind you basically. We don't want that actually, right? Who wants a display that is so bright? I think we have reached a point where displays and also OLEDs, modern OLED TVs, at least the higher end ones, are so bright that you wouldn't want it any brighter unless you're actually fucking outside and you really need the extra, right? There's a lot of glare or whatever. You really need the extra brightness for that. But if you're in a normal setting, it's fucking almost too bright, right? There are moments where you just think like, okay, let me turn it down a bit, right? So I think we're at the point where we consumers can be very happy with the products we have. I think the progress has been amazing, right? If you witness all of these steps and just, you know, you think a bit about it, right? What we have now is it's a great time to be a consumer, but because you can get so many affordable products which are great, but you can also get a lot of really cool high-end stuff, which is also great, but it's all so much better than what we had before. So yeah, it's really cool, and just the appreciation of that. And I know if you're young and you never ever heard of or even witness all these things, it's very, very hard to, you know, it's like a bit, the boomer talk, all the, you know, how it was before and all that stuff. But I still think it is very good to, you know, appreciate what we have. And of course you could go in your mind and play the game, oh, what's the future like? And of course the future is gonna shit on all that, right? Oh my god, I got a 490 today. Well, guess what? In 10 years, every shitty smartphone is going to be almost, or maybe not, because it's unnecessary, but everybody can get a card for a few bucks that's at least a 490, right? So it's going to be, well, it depends on the progression, I guess, but yeah, okay, maybe not as much anymore, but still it's getting a bit slower in that regard. But still, you know, it's not the amazing piece of tech. If you think 1,000 years ahead and if we're still there and kicking, all this gonna seem like shit, right? Everything we think is amazing now is gonna be ass. But the thing is, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what the future or the past has. The past can make you happy because you know, well, it can make you unhappy too. So a point of reference, yeah, it's a bit difficult. So my advice for dealing with the past is pick out the positives which carry over to the future, right? Everything that still makes you happy when you think about it and makes your life now better. It's a good thing you think about from time to time, but if it's something that makes you unhappy because it's like, oh, it was so much better back then. By the way, it could also be biased, of course, but it could be objectively better for whatever reason. I think these things are maybe things you don't really need to, you know, use too often to to make your day a bit worse or something, right? Just take those and leave them, right? You don't have to think about those too much. And I do the same for the future, right? You can be hopeful. Yeah, there's a game coming out in a few days, or next year I'm gonna get a new screen. It's gonna be so great. That's super cool. But thinking, oh, in 1,000 years, man, if I only lived in 1,000 years, right? 1,000 years from now. But if you think like that, it's gonna be it's a losing game, right? You can always, if you want to, you can argue any good thing into the ground and have no fun at all, right? And that's why always when I play games and I show games here, I am myself, right? And I don't try to obfuscate if I'm having fun or not. But my goal obviously is to enjoy things, right? So whenever I'm not enjoying things, it's not because I go in with the expectation to shit on things, right? Here in this game, I expected to shit on the game because I had a lot of opinions which I usually also value, which told me, oh, it's not gonna be a good game, maybe. You know, it's not gonna be so good. And also Lies of P for me was a bit overrated, so I was also a bit, the people liked that game so much, but I didn't like it. And oh my god, how shit's this game gonna be? And as you can see, I'm really positive and really, really supportive and you know, I really like the game, right? Even though I came in biased in a negative way. So whenever I talk about the current moment. I don't talk about my theoretical expectation of what's going to happen in the game or whatever, or what I thought before I played it. So if I think a game's going to be shit, then I still play it just, you know, to try it out. And I think it's great afterwards. You're going to hear that, right? And I'm not the person who's going to say otherwise. If I think the game's complete ass from now on, right? The game just now, I play the game and everything's shit from now on. Of course I'm going to shit talk. It's like Elden Ring. Elden Ring was such a great game up to a certain point, and then it just got boring as fuck, right? So the thing is, it can be a 10 out of 10 and become a worse game later on. No doubt about that. So even though I'm so positive now, it can change. So I'm not really biased towards my own opinions. I don't give a shit. If I said A before and now it's B, and maybe I was even wrong with A, I'm going to say it was wrong, right? I'm going to admit that I was wrong. And I'm going to admit that I was wrong to think this game was bad, because other people led me to believe it was maybe not the best game. And I was biased negatively by Lies of P, obviously, right? So, yeah, I admit I came in with the wrong expectation. And I'm glad that I don't have any issues admitting that and can have fun with it, right? And I also don't mind saying when I'm shit at a game, right? If I'm shit and I'm not, I'm losing because of that, I'm not frustrated. I'm usually frustrated when I lose in games because of things which are bad, right? Because I'm wasting my time. If a game ever has a mechanic which is fair and rewarding, it can be as challenging as it was at once. I would probably maybe get mad at it or whatever sometimes, but never really be actively frustrated by it, right? So yeah, for me, the frustration only comes from the moment where I realize, hey, I could be spending my time in another game or another thing that's more fun, right? So that's the only thing that I don't like. And in Lies of P, with some bosses, I just felt they were wasting my time. We played the unpatched version, so maybe now it's a bit hard to replicate, but the Puppet King, for example, the first phase was just a fucking time waster. It wasn't hard, it was just long, tedious, and annoying, right? And not for the good reasons, right? It was not like it was difficult, engaging, and you really had to, pull through or whatever. No, it was just like the entire HB and moveset and knockback design was so fucking bad, just right. It was like everything was meant to fucking slow you down, and the entire pace was not curated by you. And I think a good game gives you the opportunity to react, but also proactively do plays, right? And Lies of P is one of these games where you usually just go reacting, right? It's just like, okay, parry, parry, parry. And the perfect example is, for example, Sekiro. Sekiro, you know how many attacks you're gonna do, then the enemy's gonna do a clonk. Oh, clonk means he's gonna attack you now. Okay, cool. Now I react to him, but then again, I proactively attack. And just the fact that you can do that feels good, right? And in Lies of P, it's more like okay, I'm waiting, or I'm still waiting. Okay, he does another move, I still have to wait. And you don't have, the windows for opportunities, right? It's the game, of course, it gets more challenging by doing that, challenging in a way which is shit, right? It's a shit game when it comes to how the challenge is made, right? Lies of P could have been so easy and would have been better off for the most part for it. Because I think, not even true, wait. Lies of P could have been designed differently, which would have made it easier, but it would still have been a better game, right? The difficulty is nothing I care about in Souls-likes, right? The difficulty in any game for me is the means to an end. And that's to have fun. If the game is super easy and that's the way I have most fun, gonna crank it all down. Doesn't happen because I usually like more challenging games, it's just something I like. But if the challenge is not fun, I really want to put it down, right? It's no problem. I don't give a shit. I have nothing to prove. I don't care if I play it on hard. I don't care if I play it on ultra hard. The game is to have fun, right? Fuck difficulty in games, right? And only people, I don't know, who have maybe self-esteem issues are actually interested in, giving the gamer cred any, score. I mean, if you're a pro gamer and you're competing, that's different, right? Of course, you basically playing a sport, competitive sport. But if you're just, playing a game alone and you actually fucking give a shit about the difficulty of the things you're doing, you can be proud of your performance, no problem. That's okay. But really caring about, I beat XYZ, And XYZ was complete shit, but it was difficult, right? Who cares, right? I mean, I can beat, I want to be the guy, or I want to be the bossy, or whatever. These complete shit games were just made to be repetitive. I mean, if you accept it, right, there are meme games which are made to be trial and error, whatever, it can be cool. But I like games which just, are challenging in a fair and obvious way, because you can cheese everything, right? Every single game can shit on you. Everybody can make a difficult game. Everybody. Every single person on Earth, if you gave them the easy mode to make a game, right, and they could just imagine it and it would exist, every single person could make an impossible game, right? And that's why I think that difficulty is something that is, a design masterpiece, right? You really have to design difficulty well to make a game fun. It's too easy, not engaging. It's too hard, it's frustrating, right? And the goal is really to find the right tools and means to make the game as fun as possible. And it doesn't have to have any difficulty to be fun for some people. That's an illusion, right? If somebody plays Star Rail, Honkai Star Rail, and they don't play the game plays itself, and they have fun, more power to them. They won, right? They have fun. And I really like the sound here, by the way. That's really cool. Yeah, so like I said, that's why I'm not an elitist gamer or whatever. I don't care about these things. I just want people to have fun. And if you're a big influencer, I at least hope, I don't expect it, but at least hope that you're gonna try to be a bit more reflective of your opinions of games, so you don't negatively, impact people who could have fun with the game. Because you could say, yeah, sure, it's your opinion. You're, for example, Asmongold, and you really hate a game which is actually really good, but you hate it, right? You hate the game. But your community would love the game. 90% of your community would love the game. You're doing your community a disservice by not, giving the game the recommendation you could give it, right? You could say, I fucking suck at it, and I hate it because I'm bad. But you're probably gonna like it. That's cool, but to say, oh yeah, everybody's gonna hate this game, it's shit, this is why, and to bring people on your side of hating something, I think is really dumb, right? You should always try to inform people in a way that they're gonna maybe able to find out for themselves if they're gonna have fun or not, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's why I'm always very, I always try to emphasize that it's my opinion. You can hate this game, it's possible. You can play this game, you're gonna hate the shit out of it. It is possible. Just try to find out what you like in games and if it's in the game or not. I like what the game has to offer. I like it a lot, and I like it way, 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 way more than Lies of P. The bosses in Lies of P were better designed in a way because they were kind of challenging. And I like challenge, but I still think their base combat mechanic in the bosses in Lies of P wasn't better. It was just... Lies of P had better design when it comes to animations, how the attacks work together. That just looked better, but it was way worse was the combat system, the animation, the input reading, all that shit, right? It was so bad. It was just fucking bad. And that's why, like I said, everybody has different tastes, and if you're just out for difficulty, I think you're gonna have a better time in this game when it comes to maybe doing the levels, at least at the start, because now it's kind of starting to get a bit more easy. I feel, at least maybe because we're not running into high level areas anymore. And Lies of P more if you like difficult boss fights, right? If you only care about the difficulty, because you don't care about the challenge, you don't care about what the challenge is, you just care that there is a challenge. And since Souls games aren't that for me, to be honest, most of the Souls games, also Lies of P, weren't that hard. It's just like, it's just, you play them a bit and you beat them, right? It's nothing where you have to really, really try hard. But the thing is, most games aren't like that, right? They're made for humans, not for fucking machines. So most games are not that hard, right? If you're a veteran gamer, that, kind of played on harder difficulty for a long time, you're just gonna notice most games are fucking easy, right? Cyberpunk, hardest difficulty, yeah, you're gonna start at the start a little bit, you're gonna die at the start a little bit, and then it's gonna get fucking easy, like most games, right? And that's why I think that difficulty is only, it's just there to have a little bit of, this challenge, right? Of course I'm gonna die in games, because, first of all, I don't super try hard, and second of all, I'm not, the insane mega gamer, right, who's gonna one-shot everything, right? I'm pretty sure in the world, there's an autistic dude which is like the best in one single game, right? Super autistic, fits perfectly his brain patterns, and he's gonna be fucking shitting on the game, right? Maybe like his Watson in Apex Legends or whatever. No, I don't know. It's just a bad example. No, this was a joke, by the way. No, but there could just be a player which is insanely good at one thing, and he's going to be better than me, 100 million times better than me, right? And I don't care. It's great. I respect his accomplishment, right? So I'm not going to feel a bit worse because I'm not the best at something. I just want to have fun, right? It's a video game. It's not fucking competition for me. So yeah, that's why I think that these games here are difficulty is really just a means to an end for me. It doesn't really matter. And Mario, for example, when I play Mario with my girlfriend and her girlfriend, it's not hard, right? It's Mario, man. It's just that you run around, you chill. It's not a precision platformer. It's just a chill, relaxed, fun game. And it's still fun, right? It doesn't need to be difficult. It just needs to be fun. When I play Genshin Impact, it's fucking easy, of course. Still fun, right? I mean, sometimes, right? It's, because I'm playing. And then there's a limit for me, Star Rail. I don't do anything. Not fun for me. I don't enjoy it. I like auto battlers in the idea, but I don't like when a game which is not designed to be an auto battler suddenly plays itself, right? That's like watching yeah, I think I know why I don't like Star Rail. It's like watching a Let's Play without commentary. That's something I did before. I liked to watch, gameplay, to analyze the gameplay and form my own opinion, right? But the thing is, that's not so great because it's better to find somebody that has a similar taste like you, and then you can just, aggregate his opinion in a short amount of time instead of just watching every single fucking, moment of the game. It's usually less time efficient. But, yeah, and so basically, yeah, that's what I... yeah, that's why I basically like to watch stuff, right, and have fun while watching it, because I can actually engage with people talking while doing it, right? It's more interesting. And having Star Rail play itself is like watching, a Let's Play of a game without playing it, or listening to somebody. And I don't know, it can be nice, maybe for very, very story-driven games, but for everything else where you have repetitive gameplay, I don't know, man. In my opinion, I still think it should be illegal too. I know it doesn't sound nice, but I still think every idle game should be illegal. It should be mandatory to have skip functionality, because I think the environment doesn't need 2 smartphones, 3 smartphones, and a television, and a PC, and a tablet. Just lying around and doing idle stuff, right? It's just fucking bad. It's just bad for the environment. So many people just do something on the side while they're leaving a phone idle or something. They're not even looking at the screen. Why is it even on, right? Why is it even calculating anything, right? It's so pointless. I mean, this is like me. In the background here, we have Lords of the Fallen for no reason, right? Why do we... No, but I really think that these small things, they really matter, right? And having resource, they try to make monitors more efficient, all that stuff, but nobody cares about the software applications. I mean, video games that push the boundaries, whatever, and try to be as efficient as possible anyway to get more FPS and better visual quality. Sure, they're going to be terrible for the environment, right? My PC is absolutely... It destroys, the environment, right? It is so bad for it. When I play a video game with it, it's terrible for the environment. No doubt about that, right? But at least I'm fucking looking at it, right? I'm using it for a purpose. I'm not just putting it there. It could be doing nothing and it would have the same result, right? And that's what I don't like. I don't want to tell people what they can do and not do. But I still think that wasting resources on something that nobody is actually fucking looking at is dumb, right? And if you want to look at it, right, you should have an option, sure. If you don't want to skip it, I mean, skipping, by the way, doesn't mean that it goes faster. It just means maybe you get a time or whatever. It should be fair still to the people who want to watch it. But I still think that, it should be optional. It should be mandatory to make it optional so people don't waste fucking environmental resources, a lot of energy, right? So, yeah, these small things, and there's so many of these around us, right? Where you just see the how much wasted energy there is. And of course, I also waste a lot of energy. For example, now, like I said, it's a terrible idea to have the game in the background while you're just chatting. It just makes it very bad, but it's just, yeah, when I'm tired, I get on rants, which I usually don't. So, yeah. But long story short, fuck idle games. I hate them. I mean, idle games where you don't really actually, not auto battlers, idle games, right? I hate them so much. Yeah, I like idle games where you don't need to idle, where you just press a button every 10 minutes. I don't even know how you call them, the differentiation. Like skip button idle games I'm fine with. fuck idle games which have to run in the background. Yeah, and by the way, I don't condemn you if you play them. I don't. My girlfriend plays D4DJ, Sino Alice. Sometimes her girlfriend also plays Star Rail. You know, you do you, but still I think that a lot of people probably wouldn't even fucking care if they could skip everything, so... And I know for sure she would skip everything if she could, so... Yeah. Yeah, I get the appeal of the games. Not my appeal. But I still think that you should definitely make it mandatory to have an option to skip content which is irrelevant to the player. Okay, now you could argue, should be able to skip in every game irrelevant content. No, everything that mandates an interaction is of course fine, right? We're not talking about if gaming in general should be forbidden or whatever. We're just talking about stuff that is designed to not be used and still consume energy should probably be regulated in a different way. Yeah. For example, if you would sell a fridge, I mean, I don't even know. Are you allowed to sell a fridge which is inherently badly physically designed to waste energy? Would that even be legal? You know, just an energy waster, basically, like a fridge, for example. That I don't know. You just you put everything on the ground, and then you have, you know, a cooling system that throws cold air from the top, but there is no box or lid or anything. It's just the entire room gets crushed with cold. And yeah, you know, these super inefficient cooling systems, I wonder if they are even legal, right? Or if they would not get a, you know, a license, because you have energy ratings, of course, but energy ratings. I mean, yeah, sure. If even one incompetent person buys a TV or purposefully uses it in eco mode, because I mean, I guess many of you are aware that eco mode limits functionality in a lot of TV systems and displays, and all of them are advertised with those systems off. Obviously, for example, you can't get high refresh rates, you can't get high brightnesses and all that stuff in eco mode, and they just do that to be compliant with some regulations, right? They are not allowed to be sold without complying to those. And yeah, I think it's, you know, it's a bit more of a nice to have, but a lot of people are just gonna turn it off right away, right? I mean, sure, there's gonna be maybe 5%, 10%, maybe even 30% of people who don't know and don't care, maybe even. But the most consumers are gonna turn off that stuff. Yeah, but I still think there are also ecologically logical features which are way better, right? Just limiting the brightness on the TV is shit, right? Because you're gonna be in an environment which is too bright, and then it's gonna be a terrible viewing experience. But having a dynamic brightness by light sensor or whatever, or camera or whatever, is great, right? Because you're gonna have lower energy consumption when it's useful, and higher when it's necessary, right? That's great design. Why fucking limit it in general? So I think every light sensor system or array or whatever, camera system you can add that actually doesn't consume too much itself and that really regulates that well is a great tool, in my opinion. Okay, but I ranted long enough. I just wanted to take a 2-minute break, and then we're gonna play the game, and then I'm gonna shut the fuck up for the rest of the day because I'm tired and I shouldn't talk too much anyway. So I don't know, when I'm tired I just, I go off and get invested into things. Okay, we're back. Really like the sound. Sorry, I'm just gonna be right back. Okay, let's go. Oh shit, I don't remember which way we went. Oh, what's going on with the performance here? Jesus Christ. I wonder if we have some kind of memory leak going on here. It's kind of weird that it's so extreme. Yeah, kind of unusual, to be honest. Oh yeah, right, we wanted to go into Umbral, I remember. Did we just kill one of them? Oh, fuck me. Oh, right, I remember. Wait, what's going on? Oh, wrong key. Wrong button. Yeah, I completely whiffed that first time around. Okay, very nice. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, right. We already were here before. I just want to say I remember this part. But that makes sense because we actually already witnessed this part before. Kinda no-brainer, to be honest. Yeah, I really wonder if it's the current driver or if it's... I mean, it seems to be shader compilation, but something is off, right? It wasn't an issue before, and now it suddenly is an issue. I mean, it's not terrible, right? But it's still a bit more than I would like. I mean, the stuttering, obviously. Okay, wait. Thing is, I don't really remember which way exactly we came from. We opened something up, okay. And then where did we go? I don't think it was here, right? I think we went here and then we fell down. We went all the way back up. Or... I just can't remember. I think we just walked by here before. Why exactly did we all do all that stuff? Yeah, unfortunately I don't remember the way we need to go. Which is not terrible, right? It's not like, oh my god. I'm pretty sure we've already seen this area, so it shouldn't be lagging. Yeah, like I said, it could also not be shader compilation. Wouldn't be unheard of. Can't remember shit. Yeah, I can't remember anything. And there's so many ways we can go, which is crazy to me. Yeah, I see. As like I told you, I don't remember this, and obviously, good reason. A full Virano shield. That sounds really fucking like something I'm never gonna use. Oh, we finally found the way. Very nice. Yeah, I don't really know what the issue is, to be honest. What's happening? Weird. I don't know if something crashed. Did it crash? So sure about that. Unfortunately, I can't do anything. He's kind of super slow. Like it's barely doing anything. I think I'm gonna have to exit the game. What's going on here? Yeah, something's not right. For sure here, I didn't take the alt tab too well. And that's mildly put. Yeah, it's kind of really hard to even get in Task Manager here. I think we hit the game. But did it change anything? I don't know what's going on. My Windows is kind of fucked. I actually have no idea what's going on. It's like everything is going with like 0.01 FPS. Yeah, I think we broke something. I don't know what we broke, but I don't even know if the stream's still live. But I for sure have to restart the PC here. There is no way around that. So see you in a moment.